back. It's 6:31. You are watching and listening to Breakfast with Stephen and Ellie.
Let's have a look at the papers this morning. And the Express has, I think this is a great picture of Rishi Sunak and his wife touching down in Hiroshima yesterday ahead of the G7 summit. And the reason I like it, frankly, is the umbrella, which I just love.
Yeah, it's a great brolly. Very GBNEWS, very on brand.
I like the fact that the Union flag is on the inside, so it's like not too in your face, but it's there. I really like that. Branding
on point. Yeah, Christine's been in touch saying, Stephen, the umbrella you're talking about are available online for $29.99.
Oh, thank you.
Christine's done her research, yeah.
Thanks, Christine.
The Guardian also leads with the PM's arrival in Japan alongside his wife ahead of the G7 summit, which begins today, but sans umbrella in that one.
No, that's the old picture.
Oh.
That's the old picture where she had that awful outfit on.
Oh, you didn't like that one,
no.
did you? Are those the green trousers you were talking about?
The green trousers and the fuchsia top.
Well, you're very across her wardrobe on this trip, I must say.
Why have they used such a picture from 48 hours ago? It's odd, isn't it?
Very odd, clearly.
I think they made a mistake. The Sun has Saturday night taken away as Anton Deck this drives me mad. They're having a break from the show after 20 years, but not yet, not till 2025. Yeah. He's going to do all of next year.
We've got a while, and then it's just a break, isn't it? It's
just
not even...
But the last break they had was 4 years long.
Oh, was that?
Yeah. Not that I've ever seen the show.
Well, in the Mail, there's some Hollywood glamour from the Cannes Film Festival as Fleabag star Phoebe Waller-Bridge.
Who is that now?
Phoebe Waller-Bridge. There we go. Poses in a black gown, and she does look marvellous. She's got black gloves on.
Does she? I don't like it.
Well, I think she looks great.
I don't like it. It looks like a fish.
It's a fishtail. That's the whole point.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go.
Your
well, it works.
mind is switched on, Stephen.
It works then, because you do look like a fish. And in the Mirror, the Princess of Wales steps out to visit a children's mental health charity wearing emerald green.
Now, we can agree on that. She looks wonderful.
Well, when does she not?
Exactly. And we like her dress. And I've ordered shoes very similar to that. It's the Catherine effect.
You're being paid too much.
No, the high street version.
Oh, are they? Now, someone who knows our high street fashion is broadcaster Liz Kershaw. Good morning to you. Like a charity shop. Is that a charity shop top?
This one's TK Maxx.
All right.
It is a bargain.
We love a bargain.
But you often get charity shop stuff, don't you?
Oh, the dress I done last time, 2 weeks ago, the pink one.
Yeah, I like that one.
£5. You were raving about it.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, no, I love it.
I love a charity shop haul.
I think Rishi Sunak's wife, I'm sorry I don't know her first name, Mrs. Sunak, has terrible advice on clothes. There was a photo not long ago. I know she was supporting Ukraine, but she had a blue top on and these yellow, canary yellow pants, trousers that were this wide and sort of ended 3 inches shorter than...
Like
it's really tiny. And, you know, you think that all the money she's got and the position...
When you're that rich, you can do what you like.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Mind you, because the rest of us need to save money, because according to the Telegraph, this drive to net zero, which ultimately, I know it's not popular with a lot of you, but ultimately I think it's an important thing that we do. However, it's going to add 120 quid to our energy bills.
Yes, because this time we're talking about hydrogen gas.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing new about hydrogen-powered vehicles, because I was in Hamburg about nearly 20 years ago, 2005. I was passing behind a bus and got squirted with what I thought was cold water. It was something like that.
Yeah,
and it was a hydrogen bus. And so the technology is not new.
No.
And we're just cottoning onto it. Hydrogen is immensely difficult to extract and very expensive. And I've even read claims that it uses more energy than it actually produces. Anyway, the public are now going to be expected to fund the development of hydrogen gas under the government's net zero plans. I just don't think people can take this much longer or support it. I was talking to somebody yesterday who, through no fault of their own, has lost the job and is currently on job seekers allowance, and which is a few £100 a month, and they're being made now by their energy company for electricity to pay £190 a month. That's more than a third of their monthly income, and there was a report yesterday, wasn't there, that 1 in 5 people, you were doing it in the morning, is now unable to pay bills or credit card debts. People are really struggling. And I just think, in an ideal world, we would be free of the grasp of the countries that have the resources, such as Russia and the cartel in the Middle East. We wouldn't be reliant on fossil fuels. We do have our own, though, and there'll be a lot of people watching this that say, for goodness sake, let's start fracking. For goodness sake, let's build some gas storage tanks that were scrapped in recent years. For goodness sake, let's allow the big oil companies to start opening, exploring and start opening new wells
that
in the
removes
North
some of the
Sea.
incentive, doesn't it, to drive us towards things like hydrogen, and making the more we explore things like hydrogen fuel cells for cars, the cheaper it becomes. I mean, that's the point. It's expensive
in the interim, you can't let people be going backwards, living in poverty. We don't want to be going back to freezing cold houses.
Yeah, but the interim's the next sort of 5-10 years. It'll take that long to get fracking.
Well, it's just not planned and thought out.
No.
I mean, there's another article in the papers yet again today about the lack of charging points for electric cars.
Oh.
So there's only about 10% of what is actually needed. People are having nightmares, aren't they? And range anxiety, because if you do find a spot when you're out on the motorway travelling a distance in Britain, then you might find there's a queue.
And half of them don't work. That's a problem as well.
Well, the infrastructure just isn't there, is it?
It's all, but I think what most people object to is that it's the poorest in society that are feeling the pressure of paying for all this.
Yeah.
And we just aren't up to speed on non-fossil fuels at the moment. On a calm, still day, there's no wind power. We don't have a way of storing it. I wonder why we've not got on with water power. We were going to have a huge barrier across the Severn estuary, weren't we? That's not materialised.
There's an issue with that, and I don't know what it is. There's always been an issue with wave power, and I don't know what it is. It's just never quite taken off, but it should be. All this stuff has got to be looked at.
Liz, let's have a look at the front of the Express, shall we? And it's a very confident Rishi Sunak saying he's going to be PM for years.
Well, he had the backing of Jacob Rees-Mogg, didn't he, this week, who said we can't possibly change the leader of the Conservative Party again. This was while that conference was taking place, Conservative conference this week, and various speakers. There was another conference with Nadine Dorries and Court last weekend, where Boris Johnson appeared on video, on screen.
He didn't want to turn up, couldn't be bothered.
No, but it was clear that it's kind of the Boris fan club. And so Jacob Rees-Mogg, for example, was asked, should we be getting Boris back? And he said, oh, absolutely not, we've just looked stupid. What I think is really dangerous, and it's been shown on the ground in the recent local council elections, where hundreds and hundreds of local Conservative councillors lost their seats, and they'd had months of terrible experiences on the doorsteps, going around canvassing and hearing people's views right in their face. So you can't get better market research than that. And basically, in one constituency I know well, in the northwest, nobody voted Labour. They voted Lib Dem. They just wanted to get punch the Tories, and what they were saying was, no, we've been betrayed, it's not democratic, we didn't vote for Rishi Sunak, it was a coup, he's been implanted, we lost Boris Johnson, who members voted in, we lost Liz Truss, who members voted in, it's not a democratic party anymore, you're taking the mickey.
But nobody voted for Theresa May, nobody voted...
No, they don't last.
Nobody voted for Gordon Brown.
And what happened to them? They don't last. Yeah. Gordon Brown was absolutely nakedly ambitious to be the Prime Minister and called time on Tony Blair, because they'd allegedly had some pacts in the past. He was implanted as our Prime Minister. I was doing a daily breakfast show on radio at the time. Everybody was just saying, nobody voted for this guy. And then people said, oh, we don't have a presidential sister. But no, people want to think that the leader of the party for whom they voted will be in place and run the country. And Blair was ousted Brown was implanted, and not
Lots
long
of
after there was a
acclamation,
general election, and the public voted him out. Theresa May, the same. So people want to be respected, and if Rishi Sunak stays in power for the 2024 general election as leader of the Conservative Party, I think they'll just get trounced.
Yeah, but, here's one. If then he's not, the implication there is that he won't be, that he wouldn't want him to be in power. But the problem with that, if there's another change of leadership, it's sort of re-small, because saying another change, then that just shows a party in disarray, and nobody will vote for it anyway.
I don't think so. I think I don't. There isn't an easy solution, but and I don't know who would replace him. I know Penny Mordaunt with her fantastic abs and biceps,
sword-bearing skills.
But the people will not vote for a Rishi Sunak government, which means under the first past the post system, we'll end up with a very fractured parliament, behind the back sheds, dodgy deals done for collaborations and coalitions. It won't be good for the country. But the people on the ground, that's another important factor. The elections are won by the local supporters and party members who do all the footwork and get people to the polls and do all the campaigning and put the posters up, and a lot of it stands out. They've lost, a lot of people that I know are just throwing in the hat and saying, I'm not doing this anymore, because for all my hard work, what do I get rewarded with? A coup.
Yeah.
So
let's cheer ourselves.
We're all doomed.
Let's cheer ourselves up with something. I say cheer ourselves up. It depends. If you're a fan of Ant and Dec, then this isn't happening for another 18 months or something.
No, it's a bit of a shortage of showbiz news this morning, but I've never, like you've just said it, I thought, oh, it's not just me. I've never watched that programme.
No.
I don't know really know
I've
what
caught it a couple of times, but
I think, is it like a variety show, like Noel's House Party with that Noel?
It's a bit of fun, isn't it? It's pranking.
Yeah. If you want to put a bit of meat on this story and you like a conspiracy theory.
Oh, yes.
You know all the shenanigans at ITV with the This Morning programme?
Yes.
Supposing, I saw a quote this week from somebody that said, it was some celeb that's worked on This Morning, there's a can of worms and somebody's poised with the tin opener.
Oh.
So the suggestion being that there's a whole lot of stuff to come out from behind the scenes in ITV involving presenters and bosses, and that's why there's been fallings out and everything, and people trying to distance themselves. Heads are going to roll. There's injunctions out. People have had PR agents, and it just makes me think, okay, maybe Ant and Dec are thinking, this is a bit of a bad place to be at the moment. We're going to just take.
But they're still going to be doing all the other shows that they do.
Well, you're assuming that.
Well, I'm assuming that.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to come out at ITV and a lot of shaking up to do. And I just think it's. I'm just trying to make this story more exciting.
I'll tell you what. You say the shenanigans and all that. The problem is, this where part of me feels a little bit sorry for the This Morning team, is as you well know, behind every show and every TV, but especially when the ones that are really, really pally, it's not like that in real life, is it? Very rarely. There's always something going on.
What usually happens, in my experience, in 35 years in BBC Radio particularly, I was paired up with so many different men, professionally. and some of them, you genuinely loved each other. You respected each other, you got on, you chose to socialise, your families went on holiday together, you were generous with each other in the studio, and some you just had absolutely nothing in common at all. And when there was a report clip on or a record, if it's a music show, you'd just sit there like this. And then, there you go, they were all the way to number one and a big cheesy fit smile.
You always got on with Bruno, didn't you?
Yeah, me and Bruno. Well, that's why that show worked and why people still talk about it. And we're still getting asked to do radio shows.
Yeah.
But we don't want to be tied to a weekly thing anymore because we're getting on a bit. But why that worked, because it was genuine, definitely.
Yeah.
But when it's not genuine, as you know, it can be the biggest strain.
Yeah, it's hard work.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I've never experienced a genuine on-air relationship yet.
Oh, thank you. Ellie, you must be so flattered.
No.
It's awful every day, isn't it?
Awful every day. It's a trauma.
Every shift.
Liz, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you a
Thanks,
little bit later
Liz.
on.
Talking of on-air relationships,
Oh, here we
an
go.
empty seat, are we getting somebody else for the next one?
Yes, David Mellor might pop in.
Hooray!
There you go.
Yeah.